Hi, it's Brittany Eiler again. This time I will be talking about the STNA survey and my reflection. This is the first time that I have ever completed a survey of this nature or this survey in general for my district. I believe that my district and my school are very well technology equipped. However, there is always room for improvement. I feel like most of the classrooms use technology as a reinforcer rather than the direct method of delivering academics. So the first category is supportive technology for use. And I went through the different categories and I found my highest scoring subsection and my lowest scoring subsection. So in category 1, supportive environment for technology use, my highest scoring is number 16. Technology is used to communicate and collaborate with families about school programs and student learning. My school uses a program called Class Dojo to communicate directly to the parents of the students about any event that is happening in the school, or in my personal classroom, we use it for any behaviors that the students might be exhibiting, successes, areas of weakness that we are struggling with during the week. It's a communication platform, and it goes right to the parent's phone, so they're able to send a message, like a text message, back to us, and it's very user-friendly. The lowest one that I have scored is number 25, and it says students with disabilities have appropriate and adequate access to adaptive and assistive devices. I have some students in my classroom who use assistive technology iPads. However, I have some students who would benefit from technology like improving their speech. I also have, there's a lack that I'll touch probably a little bit on later on about the lack of correct devices for my students. Every student in the district is given a Chromebook for them to use during like STEM class or virtual learning days or whatever class may require it. And I have students, all of my students have disabilities, and so therefore they can't always operate the mouse pad or a mouse that plugs in. So, but most of them have experience with tablets, iPads, the touchscreen aspect. So I think my district is failing in providing my students with technology that is touchscreen, which will benefit them in their fine and gross motor skills. The next category is professional development. And the highest subsection is number 7, the use of technology for differentiating instruction for students with special learning needs. Again, like I said, most of my students have disabilities, so we use technology on a daily basis for English and math, sometimes science. We do small group rotations, and there's a technology center where the programs are more geared toward their academic levels individually, but it also gets them using a game format, something more engaging for the students. The low for this one is number 16. Educators in charge of professional development use data from teachers' need assessments to determine technology professional development topics and activities. And I scored this one low because my district, they meet the administrators of each building, because there's 3 elementary, a middle, and a high school. So all the administrators meet with their curriculum developer, who then they take the needs from that meeting and create a schedule for professional development. They never send out a survey or ask teachers what they would be interested in learning. Technology is always improving, and there are many different resources in the school that we have access to that I'm very unfamiliar with due to the lack of training. The third category is teaching and learning. And the high one that I scored for this one is number 7. It is, it states, I use technology to differentiate instructions for students with special needs, learning needs. Again, like I said, I use technology in my classroom. During our small group rotations, I have students grouped based upon their needs and their strengths. I also have computer programs set up that students know how to access on their own, and it's tailored toward their direct needs and their abilities. Technology is something very popular in my classroom. All kids love it. They love to get on an iPad. They love to get on their Chromebook. They'd probably spend all day on their Chromebook if I would let them. The low scoring one is number 6, and it says, I apply policies and practices to enhance online security and safety. I personally have never taught online security and safety in my classroom this far. After this survey, I have decided that it is something that I need to touch base upon, especially because I know a majority of my students have tablets, have phones, have access at home to the internet, and may not have been explained appropriate behaviors and safety precautions that they need to be taking when they are using their technology. Again, this is something that probably is not being taught to them at home and requires me to do a little bit more teaching in the classroom. The last category is impact of technology. So the high scoring one is number 5, and it says, teaching has helped my students achieve technology has helped my students achieve greater academic success. Again, like I said, technology is very popular in the classroom. The students love it. Therefore, they're more engaged in the academic instruction, and they're succeeding better because it's something that they're more interested in rather than paper and pencil or cutting and gluing and coloring. And low scoring one, technology has helped my students work more collaboratively. So in my classroom, I find it often difficult for my students to work together on a project due to their different disabilities. There are times where we work together, but some students are more advanced using technology than others, and so it kind of creates a barrier. Unless, moving forward, I decide to group them up all of the same needs, but then their outcomes won't be the same, so it'll have to be a different assignment. We created a PowerPoint last year in my class. The students enjoyed doing that, so that would be something we could look more into, working together as a group and creating a PowerPoint based on a certain topic. So then it was decided in the assignment to take something that is positive from the survey and something that is negative from the survey and to find a research article. So something that I strongly agree with and am currently doing is the using technology for differentiation instruction. So the article I found is called The Use of Digital Technology for Differentiation of Teaching in Early Years. So this is based on reading and writing specifics of a second grade class. So the main point of this research was 2 things. One, what are teachers' experiences of using digital technology? Like coming in, what do they know? And then the second point was, how does digital technology promote different dimensions of the reading and writing process? Reading is more verbal. Writing is usually handwriting, having that fine and gross motor skills. So it's very interesting to see how technology can impact both the reading and the writing process, since that's something we're used to doing in like a face-to-face setting, and it's more hands-on. So I found that interesting. I know a lot of my students struggle with reading, so it would be a good idea for me to look further into that article and to come up with some other ways that I can include technology for my students when writing. The students for writing, they all have writing goals, but I think it would be more impactful for them to take their written sentence or their written product and then to type it on their computer. That way they're getting that use of typing and technology as well. So the negative research one is something that I kind of kick myself for, because it's the online safety and security. We teach students how to be safe in the classroom, how to be safe in the neighborhood, how to be safe in general. But something that I failed really poorly on is teaching them how to be safe and secure online, which again, we all have access at school to it. Most kids have access at home. So it's something that definitely needs to be taught. So the article is Sensitizing Young Children on Internet Addiction and Online Safety Risks Through Storytelling and a Mobile App. So this is an app. This is an article written about the app. In the article, the app includes that it's a story, but in the story it has situations that children may face, like real situations that they may come across during their own internet experiences, which are different than adult internet experiences. So the article it explains the design goals and situations, basically the pieces of the app and how it was created. And then the article also contains feedback from teachers and students, and focusing on some future improvements. So this is an app that I'm very interested in and that I will look further into, seeing if I can download on like the Google Play Store or the App Store that our iPads use. That way students can have some learning experiences with this, where it's hands-on and kid-friendly, but also relative to what they need to be learning. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry about the birds.